great. It's a great Monday afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. June 11th, 2018. You can't make it any better than this. You can't make this stuff up. The weather's going to be spectacular for primarily the next 7 to 8 days. Chance of showers on Wednesday, maybe. Father's Day next Sunday, 90. Get your pool open. Listen, today we're talking NHL, Stanley Cup Final. We're talking about good old Justify. We're talking about the dominance of the Golden State Warriors. And Jim Senecropi and the dog will look at the U.S. Open. Shinnecock Hills. We'll talk about the Open. We'll explain what our picks are at the end of the show. And we'll even have a bet for lunch. Welcome to Weber This Week. Top of the afternoon, everybody. It's a dog with you on a beautiful, absolutely not a cloud in the sky kind of a day in the month of June. A day where you're thinking about playing some golf or going down, little camping, walking up some hills, etc., etc. Just kind of relaxing. It's a beautiful day, and as I said on my open, it's supposed to be great all week long. The weather forecast is calling for 90 next Sunday for Father's Day, and I'm sure if I forget, let me wish all the dads out there a happy Father's Day prematurely. And I'm heading up to Sam's. We're going to have a little cookout when I get out of Del Lago. It should be a lot of fun. Well, I hope you all had a great weekend, everybody. And again, the forecast is spectacular. Let's talk about some sports topics that are dear to my heart. And also, Jim's going to chime in with some commentaries as well. And that, of course, first off, the National Hockey League playoffs. 44 years since the Washington Capitals have emerged as the Stanley Cup winner. But you know what? Give them credit. I was living and dreaming that Las Vegas Knights, the first team as a expansion team, could do it. They won the first game. The Capitals, the Washington Capitals, ran the next four off, and over, baby, it's over. The Capitals now are the Stanley Cup champions. Ovechkin, phenomenal player. And myself personally, I was pulling for him. And I was also pulling for the Las Vegas team. But give credit where credit is due, as the Washington Capitals, after a 44-year drought, has finally won the most coveted award in the world of NHL hockey. So I hope that you enjoyed that. I know I watched it with a lot of intensity. I love to watch Stanley Cup playoffs, and you got to give your credit where credit is due, and the Capitals played better than the Knights of Las Vegas. But kudos to Las Vegas. Again, an expansion team making the finals, winning the first game, and then he just fell flat the next four. Speaking of 4 and out, let's switch our attention, and Jim talked about it at length last week when we did my show here. He wasn't enthralled with the setup with the Cleveland Cavaliers, who certainly quit, in my opinion, and I think Stephen A. Smith, whether you love him or not, who does the first take, and he's on ESPN all the time, he certainly does not leave any stone unturned with his commentaries. He's very direct. He said that the Cavaliers at home, the last game, just quit, and it certainly looked like it from the part of the games that I watched. It looked like, Jimmy, that Cleveland really knew they weren't going to win that series. It looked like they were not a team that could contest the Golden State Warriors, and it proved to be exactly the way you figured it would be. And all the national media thought it was going to be a romp, and it turned out to be a romp. It was, as they say, no contest.
Yeah, it's no surprise. It's kind of boring. I mean, I think that Cleveland had a little outside chance if J.R. Smith in Game 1 could have grabbed that rebound and put it in or got to LeBron. They could have got home field advantage.
Yep.
But the minute that happened, boy, they were really done. And just terrible, terrible league, the NBA. It's like pro wrestling. It's all about the personalities and the and the individuals. It's really not about the team. And now they're talking about LeBron. Where's he going to go now? One of 8 teams? Well, wherever he goes, they'll be in the finals next year against Golden State. Unless he goes to Golden State, then might as well just end the season in October. It's a stupid, stupid league. I can't stand it. It's and it's damaged the college game, which I love. And I hate the NBA, I really do. And I even said, at the beginning of the year, I like watching the NBA.
I know.
Once June rolls around,
right?
But even this, it was terrible. The finals were terrible. There was, Game 1 and Game 3 were decent, I guess. But boy, big surprise. It was Cavs and Golden State wins. Who cares? So boring.
I got to admit, if you look at material, it's hard to compete with the Golden State franchise. They have literally a franchise. Now, certainly down the road in a year or two, probably some of those great players may depart, but it's hard to remain that with your, big 5 or big 6 or big 7 that they have. But, Kevin Durant said he's still going to be around. He's still going back with Golden State. He had a chance to leave after this year.
Why play the regular season? Why even play the regular season?
You look at that material and you just wonder, you can't beat that team. And Curry had an off game, as you remember, on Game 3. But, boy, in Game 4, he threw it up, behind his head and making him switch.
NBA Soup has never been more popular. I don't know why. Kids love it. Kids love the NBA. And you either like LeBron or Steph Curry. You can only be one or the other. One bright spot are the Celtics were kind of fun to watch. Yes. Brad Stevens, that looked like a good basketball team that was fun to watch. But like I said, in the NFL, who knew that the Philadelphia Eagles would win the Super Bowl? True. And in baseball, who knew the Houston Astros would win? Anything can happen at the beginning of every season except the NBA, where you can pick. Like, literally, I said in October, it's going to be Cleveland versus Golden State, and Golden State will win. And,
I remember
and nobody was arguing with me.
No. I most of the media thought it was going to be Cleveland, Golden State. All the media. So it's kind of.
What's the point? To see who can get the most triple doubles or who can make the All-Star team? I mean, I just can't stand it. I really can't stand it.
Well, let's turn our attention from basketball to horse racing. It's pretty amazing when you stop and think about it that Justify, trained by Bob Baffert, owned by a whole conglomerate of different people that own a piece of that action, are they rich today or what? Even though they were rich before the Belmont. A horse that did not race one single race as a 2-year-old, and they made a big deal out of that no one's ever won, way back 100 years ago. And he won the Derby, then he come back. He won convincingly in the Derby. Then he had a sloppy track at the Preakness in Baltimore. Yeah, they were talking about, it was a close race, but he won. A win is a win is a win. Whether you win by a nose, Jim, or whether you win by 15 lengths, you win. So he's 2 up, none down, and then they're looking at the Belmont, which is the most grueling race of the Triple Crown. They do that for a reason. All right, the Derby is a certain length, and the Preakness is a little shorter than the Derby. Then they go to the Belmont, it's 1.5 miles. It's a grueling race. It has dethroned many a great horse going into the Belmont. Well, obviously, the odds come out, and it's 3-5, which means you put up $5 to win 3. All right, that was the math. And then, of course, it was a gorgeous day. Even though Bob Baffert's son is a meteorologist, he loves to follow weather. He predicted to his father many a race that it was going to be a certain type of temperature and a certain type of weather. Well, as it turned out, Bodie texted his old man 3 or 4 days before the race at Belmont and saying he'd expected rain in New York on Saturday night. Well, it wasn't rainy. It was a little cloudy, but it was beautiful to race. 10 nags get in there. Gronkowski was, they interviewed Gronk, who was obviously there. Yes, they named the horse after him. He's a big fan of Gronkowski of the New England Patriots. And lo and behold, I said to my wife, as we always watch the Triple Crown, we always have dinner at home, we always enjoy watching it. And I said to Mary, I hope they just, Mike Smith is Money Mike, they call him, because he only races the big races and big purses for the jockeys. And he makes a lot of money, obviously, riding these horses. But I said to myself, I just hope he doesn't go out to the lead. Just doesn't get the lead. I hate when a horse has to go that long leading. I just can't stand it. I didn't have a nickel on, even though me and Mary had a bet. We picked 2 nags. We threw out Justify. I had Bravazzo. And Mary picked, let me think of that. Name of her horse was, I can't think of it, but I'll come back to it. But anyways, the race starts. Who takes the lead? But Justify. I'm going, oh no, because I was pulling for another Triple Crown. Lo and behold, on the backstretch, he's still leading by a length and a half. And he's still leading. I'm saying to Mary, this is not good. These horses behind him, they've been just coasting. Gronk is about 25 lengths behind, dead last. And lo and behold, they come to the top of the stretch, and he's still leading by 3/4 of a length. I'm thinking the horses behind him are going to catch him. Well, all of a sudden, he put it in third gear, then he put it in fourth, got about a 2.5 length lead. I'm thinking, oh my God, this horse may win this. And Gronk made a great rally, but it was too little too late. 24-1, by the way, Gronk went off at 24-1. And we had history again. So the second Triple Crown in 3 years, American Pharoah doing it in 2015. And, from a payoff standpoint, Justify paid $3.60 at the track, so you would have gotten about $3 at the OTB if you bet through OTB, around there. But Gronk went off at 24-1. The exacta at the track was $89. At OTB in Auburn or anywhere else you may have bet that race, you'd have gotten $80 for two, Jim. $2. And if you wheeled it...
40 to 1?
No, it was 24 to 1. Gronk went off. But if you'd have bet an exacta, taken Justify with all the horses, it would have cost you $18. You had every horse, you have Justify on top, and all the other nags. Whoever come in, you'd get the exacto. That's how it works. And I always bet exactas, but I didn't bet this race. My point is you would have made $80 by investing $18. And I know a lot of people put a lot more than 18 on that exacta. So that's a great payout for a horse that's going off at 3 to 5. Yes, you had to have things come together, a long shot finishing second, and that was Gronkowski. So I was upset that I didn't make the trip over to Auburn and make the bets, but that's another thing. And oh, by the way, I had a $2 bet with Mary, and I lost to her. We always have a bet inside, and it's going to drive me nuts. I'm going to have to look that up to find out what her nag was. I can't think of the name. Rossi. Rossi. Vito Rossi. I'll look it up while we're doing our commercial break and give you the exact name. But Mary deserves credit for beating me during our little old famous Triple Crown bet. So, Jimmy.
You know what's interesting is that, well, first of all, last week I said I didn't really want to see a Triple Crown because, we just had one a couple years ago. Want to make it special. But looking back in history, Triple Crowns usually happen in bunches. Every other decade there's 2 or 3, so we might get another one coming up here. And Justified obviously deserves it, but now that sports gambling is being legalized, you wonder how that might affect the horse racing industry because they're hurting as it is, so anything could help. It seems like nowadays kids are getting into the daily fantasy sport. Younger bettors are doing daily fantasy, data-driven fantasy games, and who has more data than the horses?
I agree.
It's a little confusing to understand. Looking at the daily form, but there's a lot of data there. So I wonder, if maybe that. I think horse racing made a missed an opportunity here with this Triple Crown to capture some of the interest of younger gamblers. Because, there really wasn't that much buzz for a Triple Crown.
I know. Some 90,000 people were at the track at Belmont, which was a huge crowd for there. By the way, Vito Rossi was the horse that finished in the top 4 that Mary kicked my butt. I had Bravazzo. He's still running. But, I kind of like it. I like the suspense of pulling for a horse, and I'm just upset that I didn't go to Auburn and place a bet on it because I definitely would have bet the exacta. But again, you got to get lucky with that exacta bet because if I'd have went and took, you're going to take Justify to win this thing. Obviously, he's the odds-on 3 to 5. You got 9 other nags. You want a 20 to a 30 shot to come in second. Well, the material worked out great this time. But let's say the second heavy favorite came in second, right? The second biggest bettor that we're betting on. That exacta might have been $6 or $7. So, you put up 18, you get back 7. That's not a very good bet either. So, things worked out great. But I'm just sorry I didn't throw some money on that. But we had a good time watching it. So another Triple Crown after American Fertile dazzled us some 3 years ago. But I still get psyched. And, oh, by the way, his value, Justify, for winning the Triple Crown, Jimmy, went up to $75 million. And it'll go climber higher. Will he race again? Yep, they're going to race him again this year. Not sure if it's Saratoga. Certainly you would expect him to race in November, early 2nd or 3rd of November for the Breeders' Cup, which brings the best horses around the world together. You got to think he's going to be in that. So, but they're looking at maybe Saratoga, so we hope and see Justify down the road. Well, by the way, folks, we're going to be talking U.S. Open golf. I don't know about Jimmy, but I love to watch golf on TV. I really get into it. Now that Fox is back, we can at least watch it this weekend. And we're going to talk about the field and who Jimmy thinks may win it. We're going to also make our wager after our commercial break. Let's take that right now. Del Lago Resort and Casino has something for everyone. 2,000 slot machines and 99 gaming tables. The Vine, featuring top national music and comedy acts. The dining options. The Great Portico by Fabio Viviani. The Farmers Market Buffet, the Social Cafe and Bar. And the 14,000 square foot European style spa. Del Lago offers massages, body treatments, and facials, plus a full-service salon. Visit DelLagoResort.com for more information.
Cayuga Lake National Bank. Visit Bill Ryan and his team for all of your banking needs. Offices in Union Springs and Aurora, a fine sponsor of this show for over 30 years. DA Liquor on Britt Street in Seneca Falls. Amy Padula and her team will find the right spirit for you every time. When you stop in, tell Amy the dog sent you. The Gould Hotel welcomes you to come out and enjoy the revitalization of this historic downtown Seneca Falls landmark. Every Wednesday is Ladies' Night with special price drinks and half-priced appetizers. Learn more at thegouldhotel.com. The Omen Theater on William Street in Lyons. See what's playing this week at omentheater.com. Located off New York State Thruway Exit 41, the McGee Diner has earned their reputation as a popular family restaurant, serving country, fresh, home-cooked meals daily. Stop in for breakfast, lunch, or dinner, and check out their menu at mcgeediner.com. The Child Advocacy Center of the Finger Lakes is a child-friendly location where allegations of physical or sexual abuse are responded to by a multidisciplinary team of professionals. The team works together to conduct a thorough investigation and to provide necessary support services to children and their non-offending caregivers with a goal of minimizing further trauma to a child. Seneca Metals is an award-winning company that has earned a reputation of going above and beyond to protect the environment and support their community. As an EPA inspector once said, their operation is head and shoulders above the rest. And the Newark Pilots of the Perfect Game Collegiate Baseball League, a minor league team with a major league ballpark. Season ticket packages available at newarkpilots.com. And the Wilson Press in Seneca Falls. My good pal Rich Rickey and his team can handle all of your printing and mailing needs. Visit them online at wpress.com. Cicino's Live, Laugh, Eat Well. It's the Italian way. It's also the Cicino's way. Visit one of their 3 locations, Waterloo, Geneva, and now at Del Lago Resort and Casino. Order online for pickup or delivery at Cicinos.com.
Welcome back, everybody. It's the dog back with you on a beautiful Monday. Hope you all had a great weekend. And if you missed my open today, just a great weekend of weather forecast. And I don't even think they're going to screw up the weather any way possible. Chance of showers Wednesday, 80s Thursday and Friday, nice on Saturday, and 90. They're forecasting 90 degrees for good old Father's Day. Hey, by the way, before we go back in commentary on our U.S. Open golf, big week for that, of course. They're underway practicing at Shinnecock as we speak. From our friends out at, our buddies out there at good old Fantastic, and I'm talking about Kids Yoga and Scavenger Hunt. Of course, keep in mind, ladies and gentlemen, these folks do a great job at Seneca Metals, bringing many events to many different age groups. And a couple weeks from next, let's see, that's going to be the 30th. So that's a Saturday, June 30th. That's 2 weeks from next Saturday. Kids yoga and a scavenger hunt they got scheduled. Your little ones will love our animal yoga poses with certified yoga instructor, that is Suzette Jodier. After yoga, we will team up with our families for a nature scavenger hunt. To register, give a call out to Seneca Metals. That's 315-539-5624. That, of course, is at the Seneca Metals Educational Center, 1977 State Route 414 in Seneca Falls. It's coming up Saturday, June 30th. Please make note. It will begin at 10 a.m. in the morning, and it will run to 11:30. It's a free program, and keep in mind, folks, this program type is recommended only for preschool up to 6 years old. Again, preschool and 6 years old, kids yoga and scavenger hunt out at Seneca Metals on the 30th of June. Well, speaking of June, that means one thing, Jimmy. That is the U.S. Open is about to get going in about 3 days. They kick it off on Thursday morning, early, like 6:40, the first tee time, because the sun comes up early. And we have 156 golfers, as they always do. The weather's supposed to be delightful. No chance of rain or knock on wood. So, Jimmy, let's talk about the Open. A lot of speculation on Jordan Spieth, who's been having some hiccups the last 4 tournaments with his putter. They showed pictures of him on TV. They, of course, got the Golf Channel working right now on previewing. They'll preview it for like 20 hours a day until the tournament starts.
Yeah, live from the U.S. Open.
There you go. I just saw it before I came to do my show. DJ, big win yesterday at the Memphis tournament, leading quite comfortably by 4 shots. What's he do with an iron 18? Holds it for a deuce. So he won by 6 shots. Guy had his game, and oh, by the way, Justin Thomas was number 1 in the world. Move over, Justin. Justin is out. Dustin is back in as number 1 with his win yesterday. An impressive win. Drove it beautifully. Irons were great. Putted well. And wins easily by some 6 shots. And, of course, he's one of the favorites. And, of course, Tiger Woods is going to be playing, obviously. A lot of people speculate he could make a run. We'll have to wait and see on that. Rory's been up and down. Game looks good. Then he can't make a putt. Sometimes his driver gets a little bit crazy.
Too many other good golfers for Tiger to win this week.
Yeah, that's good.
He's not there yet.
Everybody, Jimmy, who's anybody in the world of golf is going to be there. That's the U.S. Open. Phil, can he get the final leg of the career Grand Slam?
No.
Okay. So Ricky Fowler just got engaged a couple days ago.
He's not going to win either.
Okay. So it looks like, you got John Rahm, who's hot-headed, but hits the ball beautifully. But this golf course, and I hope you check it out later tonight. It's the Open preview on Golf Channel. They'll run the show all day, the next 3 days. The golf course is spectacular, and it is very difficult. It's going to be firm and fast. The fairways, some of them are 40 to 50, 60 yards wide, which gives these guys ample opportunity to put their ball in the fairway. But you better not miss, Jimmy, the fairway, because the rough is brutal, which I love. I absolutely love rough, brutal, because I love it. When these guys miss a shot and blow it way right or way left, you're dead. You're just chipping sideways. That I like about a U.S. Open. Do you agree with that? I love the penalty.
Yeah, I mean, I hope it feels like U.S. Open. Recently it hasn't. Brooks Koepka shot 17 under last year to win. I mean, that's not the U.S. Open.
No, I
miss it. The past 8-10 years, it just hasn't been the same. Going to Chambers Bay and Erin Hills and all these places, I know. It's not what it used to be. It's actually become one of my least favorite majors, but hopefully they can start to return to what it used to be, and which is the toughest test in golf.
They say, Jimmy, and some of the pros, before I came to do my show today, were talking this morning, saying that it is indeed that. They were saying that winning score might be 4 to 5 under if somebody is playing good golf. They're saying that par is going to be a relevant figure to this week. That's what they're saying. Now, whether or not that holds true, again, the fairways are wide. They're giving them a lot of room to hit the ball in the fairway, but you better not blow it right or left, because on most of those holes, the rough is going to be absolutely, you're not going to be able to get too much club on the ball, and you're going to have to be hitting it
Well, sideways.
They
removed about 10 to 15 yards of turf on either side of the fairway and last fall, and moved it over to a turf farm in New Jersey, and they replaced it with fescue, because if you just let the normal grass, the poana and the rye grow, it just gets too gnarly. It's impossible. So they replaced it with fescue. Then when the tournament's over, they'll take that turf out and bring that old turf back in, but which I think is a little crazy. I mean, geez, it's just a golf tournament. Come on.
Well, anyways, Fox 1, which is on, I think, 400, Channel
Fox
400.
Sports 1, yep.
Sports 1, Channel 400. 9:30 starting Thursday morning, they'll have live coverage, the early groups. And then they're going to, they'll have like 4 hours then they'll go to the regular Fox, which, by the way, we finally got back from Spectrum. Thank you, Spectrum. You only ripped us off for only 4 months. So we got back Fox. Channel 6 and 11, which my wife now, we can watch Judge Judy, and she can watch Jeopardy, which we haven't seen in like 120 days. But I'm looking forward to it. So, Jimmy, it's 3:26. Before I plug a guest coming up in a couple of weeks, I believe I won last year in the bet we have. We always have a bet on high finish. You don't have to win our bet, because if you win, you get 2 lunches, but it's just who finishes higher. So, Jimmy, I'm going to give you the first shot to name somebody who your pick is, and then I'll follow up with my pick. Again, if the bet is for lunch at Red's, and if your man who you pick wins the tournament, you get 2 lunches. Okay, Jim, start off.
I mean, Dustin Johnson's the obvious pick, but no, and I think the course sets up really good for him. He can hit so far that even if he is in the rough, he can still hit a wedge on the greens. But U.S. Open champs never won the week before.
That's right. Never.
So, I'm not going to go with Dustin Johnson. I'm going to go with Jason Day.
Okay. Jason Day is Jimmy Senecropi's pick. And a drum roll for the dog. Let's see. I'm going to go with... Oh, who should I pick? I'm going with last year's champ, Brooks Koepka.
Nobody's repeated as champ since Curtis Strange did it in 88, 89. So you can go ahead and take him, and we'll have lunch next week.
All right. So here it is, folks. Jimmy Senecropi, Jason Day. The dog has Brooks Koepka. His man finishes higher than mine, or I finish higher.
I also like Justin Rose. I like John Rahm. Dustin Johnson, of course. Rory McIlroy, maybe. Yep. Jordan Spieth, maybe. That's the thing. Doesn't matter how Jordan Spieth is playing. Once it's a major championship, he could be in there. So there's a lot of guys that could win. I just got a feeling about Day. I think it's about his time.
All right.
But I like Justin Rose a lot, too.
All right. So Jason Day for Jim Senecropi. The dog has Brooks Koepka. On the line, lunch at Reds. And if our guy wins, we get 2 lunches. So good for us. Ladies and gentlemen, in a couple of weeks, we'll probably do more sports talk. During the summertime, it's hard to pin down guests, so we're going to probably do some more sports commentary next week about the Open. We talk about the Open, Jim, next week, and a whole lot more. But by the way, our good friend Joe Siccardi, I'm going to hold up the book here. Joe Siccardi, the owner of the Reveille for many, many years here, is now outside of the area, but Joe has written a book called Heaven Shining Through. I just started reading it, about 25 pages into it. It's pretty interesting. One of the lead characters in his book is a woman named Samantha. Rings a bell with me, as that's my daughter's name, Sam. So he'll be here on the 25th, 2 weeks from today, talking about how he's been doing, and he'll talk about what inspired him to write this book. Once again, Heaven Shining Through by Joe Siccardi. He'll be my special guest coming up 2 weeks from today. So we all hope you have a great week, everybody. And again, to all you dads out there, enjoy your day. Let somebody spoil you for a change, huh? 90 degrees. Get out the suntan, baby, and jump in that pool. For Jim Senecropi, the dog, see you.